love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give it up. Don't be I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back, you don't wanna make me mad. I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give it up. Don't be
Alrighty, everyone. Hello. I'm actually surprised by my own self, which I think I've got this timed very well. Surprisingly, this one time, and those of you who wonder and think I'm talking about timing the market, hell no, we never do that. We don't time the market. I'm more so talking about timing the actual live, talking to you boys and girls. Hello, hope you're all having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you're having. Those who are worried, and thank you to those who sent me a notification and asked about my well-being, knowing that there's a lot of fires here around Israel, and actually a severe one was caught around my vicinity where I live, and some areas were evacuated, but luckily for me I'm actually further away from that and so safe as well. But still, irregardless, thank you to those who reached out and were worried for my well-being. So yeah, no, thank you, I'm well. Let's get into the market. There is, on one hand, not a lot to say, but what I am going to say I think is pretty important. We are actually hitting a relative, what I would argue, sort of a very strong and important crossroads, and you'll see that in a second. We are completely running out of bullish momentum. This is something we've sort of been waiting for the last several sessions, and that is a very difficult point to predict the exact moment where we run out of momentum, but we are extremely close, as we will see right now on the charts, on the stochastic RSI, on the momentum, on the various time frames. And what I was saying, that I think I've timed it also well in terms of doing this live and telling you guys and girls and showing everything how sort of it sets up. I was actually sort of sitting and waiting throughout the session to do this. So let's get into this. 1 minute is not too indicative and not too important, because at the end of the day, what this is going to do is, I mean, at least based upon what we're seeing right now, potentially move us towards around this 56.90. I don't see how we have any important support resistance levels in between where we are right now, given how the stochastic RSI pointing to the upside right here. It's not going to be all that surprising if what the market is intending to do is go back to that median right here around 56.90. Let's go 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we are already at the bottom, so sort of indicating and potentially giving way to a potential temporary correction, sort of playing very neatly into the retest of the median. Those who know and understand, most of our price action is actually happening around the median. That's why it is the median, right? That's the center of the channel, of the trend. And so most entanglement and retests will be done on the channel itself while moving through it, right? The center. And so this appears to be very indicative of the price action picking up, even though in oversold territory, a little bit back up in order to sort of fulfill what we're saying on that convergence divergence, right? Now, what we are seeing here on the 30 minutes, on the other hand, is that yes, there is a little bit of time. What arguably can be said after this candlestick of the 30 minutes will be done, all said and done, in about 20 seconds. We'll start another one. We'll actually get to observe how the candlestick is being created. Shh, everybody, let's observe how the candlestick is being made. Okay, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting candlesticks. Okay, so let's hunt some candlesticks. You see, and there it is. There is a new candlestick coming into the world. Ta-da! That's how candlesticks come to the world. And so, believe it or not, this one is actually already having that crossover. You see how just a second ago we were one step earlier and we did not see how that sort of transition is happening, but the transition is happening, which implies that we're far closer. At least we have still 20 minutes to decide whether that's going to be a convergence or a divergence, because it can still open back up and imply that continuation of a retest higher, right? The same way we saw on the 5 minutes. The 5 minutes is still bullish, as you can imagine, not a lot of change right there. So it can easily imply that there is still a retest within the vicinity of the actual 56.90 itself. Now, on our 45 minutes, what we're seeing is actually a lot more bearish. Why we're saying that? Because you're seeing the convergence of the forces, the K and the D crossing over right below the 80, implying that we don't have enough momentum or what it takes to go into actually overbought conditions, or giving way to more bullish momentum. And so in other words, even if you zoom out right here on the larger channel, the 45 minutes, larger than the 30 minutes, of course, implying, you can see that we're still entangled with that sort of same median. If we zoom out and get our larger channel, surprise, surprise, what we really get is a far larger channel we are moving within the framework of, right? We've done the retest at the bottom. Now we moved all the way to the top. We got some slippage. Yeah, that's kind of normal. And we are ready to pull down into the channel. We are ready to pull down into the channel. So we're getting all the necessary signs, right? You see how the further out we go, the more bearish it will become. Same thing around here. We're having convergence, divergence, right? But we're having it right below the 80, implying that we're in the continuation of a breakdown. This is more of an internal process. Those who are familiar probably realize that there will be maybe even another entanglement on the way down, but we've done the process and on our way down. Because why? Because the larger time frame is saying that we completely ran out of bullish momentum, ran its course, and about to start correcting with diminishing sort of force being implied on the stochastic RSI at the peak right there. Those who understand can see it and identify it. Pretty easy, by the way. Same thing here, same thing as we've been running too hot for a very long time on the daily and have been preparing. This one is a little bit harder to identify because both forces are stuck to the 100, basically stuck to the ceiling. That's part of the issue with this indicator. It kind of has its own limitations, and it's basically set to show you an earthquake as strong as 8 on the Richter scale, but the one you're getting is a 9. So what you're going to get is the indicator, the tool will basically, go all the way to the ceiling and cannot show you that it's actually more severe than what the machine is able to show on its own scale, right? So actually it is getting prolonged. So what we'll have to advise in this instance, the larger time frame, right, which is the weekly in this instance. The weekly, we've been warning and saying, yeah, it's going to be bullish, but how bullish truly will it be? In our assessment, it should have been broken around 20 and never, of course, crossed this. But we're starting to see more convergence, divergence, and why we're knowing that this is sort of part of the overall process is because we now finally on our monthly, as we're now in a new month, now we're in the month of May, we're seeing how we are actually moving into oversold conditions, potentially very shortly amplifying the, pardon me, let me just delete some stuff here, some unnecessary stuff, pardon me, okay, some unnecessary stuff. So, and we're basically moving right there into oversold conditions, right? So shortly when we will move into oversold conditions, this entire thing will amplify. And when it will amplify, of course, we will see a continuation of the price action going downwards into the other, sort of flipping over the side of the median of the channel, right? Why all of that? Because we're still converging and sort of flipping over to the bearish side of things. And very shortly, our trend will amplify to the downside, as we're seeing on all the larger time frames, right? We're just about to break down, and all there is left for us to observe is how the 30 minutes and the 40 minutes slowly sort of turn over, make their way to 50, which still can happen during this session, but very unlikely. And yeah, that's kind of the way we're seeing the market playing out right now. Of course, we do have a full closure of the gap right here, regardless of how you perceive that gap. That's another sort of big success we have. No doubts about it. We do have a couple of gaps to now close below us, and so the market will far more likely to proceed downwards and close these gaps over the process downwards. That is it. That is kind of the overall update on the market. Those who are anxiously, impatiently waiting for the market to break, trust me, I'm among you. I'm also waiting for the market to break, but you know what it is. That's part of why we're saying we're not going to try and determine the absolute second where the market flips. We do see how we're getting closer. It's almost like an automated vehicle. And if you will, we are now recognizing that this vehicle is coming to a parking sort of speed rather than a highway speed, right? So now we can see how we were going higher. Now we're transitioning into parking speed. Once we go to that parking speed, of course, we transition to neutral, if you will, and then reverse. And once we start reversing, as you know, it's far more rapid than our upside. Those who want to know, here's a little tidbit. I'm about to be making a video talking individually about Palantir. There is a lot of talk about Palantir. Consider what those who stayed all this long consider this a bonus. Palantir has gone high to an insane high, and I would argue that it is about to correct in a very severe deep correction. And sadly, most of the people who were almost praying and begging for the market to correct when the market did drop to these 60s, 70s basically, just so they can exit, have a second opportunity to exit, and here it is, they got it. In fact, they got a double peak, an actual proper, what I would argue is a double peak, right? You can see on the price action basically how both areas, pardon me, I wanted to do hide all, right? So you can kind of see clearly, at least for a second, until everything appears back. Here it is. You can see how it's a proper double peak, right? In fact, you can see the current level, which is 12331, and actually right here being retested. That's the very same level. You can identify it very clearly right on the previous high. Of course, we did cross it over. This time around, we're hitting the head on to it rather than crossing it, but it's the very same resistance, which actually arguably a bit of a different number, but it still resides at 123, just for you to know. And some of whom, so you're going to have almost sort of two narratives and two types of people saying this can go to the moon. Some people will say it's about to break. In fact, the indicators themselves right now, if you'd be looking purely at technicals and purely at Palantir and disregarding what the market is indicating, you will realize that it's very confusing, meaning one time frame may be pointing to the upside, another one to the downside. The weekly, by the way, is kind of the dead giveaway that it's identical to the SPX and basically about to curve around right here below the 50 and actually become bearish again, which is insane how high it got under these conditions. It's absolutely and utterly insane, and just goes to show that most of this is artificial and prompted by FOMO. Well, I guess that's still the only reasonable thing I can think of, which is very sad because most people will get hurt. But then again, we'll make a dedicated video talking about the Palantirians, Palantards, you name it, whichever one you consider yourself to be, it doesn't matter. The sad reality is that we all believe in this company and think that it has huge potential. I just want to highlight a couple of things that it doesn't matter whether you're one side or another. I think that the thing that brings us together is that we want and we see how we will be able to make money off of this investment, first of all, and how this is a good company and a necessary good for the world, right? So we all agree on that one. The problem is we kind of disagree on the sentiment and narrative of the upcoming price action. That's the only thing. And so there will be a dedicated video talking particularly about Palantir and this very circumstance. So, but later nobody will say I didn't say so if suddenly it starts happening right as I finish this video. Palantir is going to drop very badly, very shortly, and I know it's very contradictive on your technical tools right now, but I would highly recommend remembering that Palantir is merely a small fraction, is just a little bolt in a bigger system that is the US economy, that is the US tech sector. And if the entire tech sector starts breaking, or the US economy starts breaking, and the stock market subsequently as being a major part of it, Palantir will break as well. It may be breaking slower than the rest. Remember, we said it will. It will be breaking slower than the rest, at least up to a certain degree. As you can see, it drop very rapidly to its 70s without even sort of second hesitation within mere days, right? And the fact of the matter, I will remind this, it's something that one of my admins have told me and spoke about, and I think she's 100% correct. Remember that we've already been at these lows this year. Something that some of you don't realize, that conquering these lows for the second time around, it's easier. For the third time around, it's a piece of cake, basically. It's a walk in the park. And so give a huge shout out to Polina, my amazing admin, one of the squad of members, admins I have that really help me out with everything I do and advise me. And she thought that would be very important to say. Again, huge shout out. She's huge help. And a lot of stuff you've seen me do recently has to do directly with her. Huge help. Polina, thank you. You're a legend. Now, which brings me back to, by the way, to remind you all, I have one final spot in my one-on-one academy. I will be locking it off this weekend. If no one takes it, I will be locking it off. My schedule is very saturated as is. If someone wants to sign up to the one-on-one academy, you basically have roughly about 12-ish hours to do so. The way it's done is you reach out to me via Discord, right? To join Discord, you first need to go to Patreon, right? You sign up via Patreon. I'm going to show on the screen right now. You go right there to patreon.com/investory. You sign up and you can then join us in our community. The community looks like so. This will give you entrance. Of course, when you do come to Discord, make sure you're met with this channel. If you haven't yet connected your accounts, you connect your accounts. You can reach out to me from the outside of the Discord, kind of through here with open a support ticket. Once you are allowed in, hello boys and girls, these are our beautiful members and some of them admins. And you'll be then greeted with this channel, with the sort of welcome channel that lets you know what's up and everything here. And just kind of, breaks down how and what, right? Kind of a welcome thing. Then you get to the message board where you get announcements about the academy, which is, by the way, here is the price. How do you sign up or how do you pay? There's only one way. You get on a direct call with me, on a voice call. You know it's me talking to you. We make a schedule for you. We discuss sort of some questions you may have, and then we move onwards if we both like each other. Yes, there is a filter. Not everybody's accepted. Now, YouTube alerts, of course, if you guys are announced about the members exclusives and all sorts of fun stuff that we do here in the various videos. Archive, where we archive our members meetings that only the members, the Patreons and the Discord members are privy to. This is the channel where my Academy members actually write their experience, a testimonial, if you will, from their academy, right? How they've experienced it, how great it was for them, or was it bad, or whatever. Of course, this is non-filtered. Everything is as they present it. Of course, the voice channels on which we hang out, the one-on-one where we have the academy, the main floor we discuss everything and anything. Come and join us. Basically, as you can see, there's plenty of cool stuff. I'm not going to waste and kill more time on talking about it. There are plenty of really good channels which you can enjoy and talk, and again, everything from my positions to charting tools and strategies, so all sorts of cool stuff. Definitely join us. Definitely inquire about the one-on-one academy, otherwise you're missing out, and then you'll have to wait until there are new open spots. That's it, boys and girls. On this, we're going to end today's session. There's not much to say, as we said. Things will get pretty nasty pretty shortly. In fact, I'm preparing a video that's basically going to be titled Imminent Crash, and things are going to get real shitty. And by the way, I mean, look at this. I was basically almost on point with the 300 and everything and all that beautiful stuff and all the predictions about where the individual assets will go to in this process, although it was a lot slower and a lot more tedious than I've expected it to be. You see, this is why we don't try to time the market, but rather understand which are the checkpoints or the benchmark levels to which the market will go test, go back and forth before it continues in a very particular direction. Sort of the overall plan rather than how long each leg of the plan will take. Okay? That's kind of what we do with technical analysis. If you want to know more, sign up, learn a new real skill set, so you will actually be able to read and understand the market, and you'll not be questioning every single step you make, and you'll have a lot more confidence and ease of mind in your performance and your actual portfolio management. Just a very kind of healthy idea for anyone who participates in the market, regardless of whether you're a trader or an investor, whatever you define yourself. Now, all of you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you in the community, on the Discord, or on the lives, or in the members stuff. So yeah, there's so much now.